Alright ladies, so today is an exciting day. As you can tell by the title already, today I'm going to show you guys how to sample Like a God Ableton edition. So obviously today we're going to be working in Ableton. I'm going to show you guys how to sample, and if you're still using FL, honestly dab me up. We respect all DAWs here. Ableton is better, but I still respect it if you use FL. It's all good. I'm not mad. Yeah, if you don't use Ableton already, hopefully you can use this video as some sort of introduction, because I'm going to be diving in a little bit deeper on how to use it. And I've been getting a lot of requests on making Ableton tutorials, so this is a start. Yeah, I'm going to shut up now and we could start this video. Okay, so we're going to start this journey how any sane producer would start. Let's look for a sample on YouTube. Oh my god, what? Alright, so we are currently in the trenches, and I'm just on a journey, man, to just find that hard. Oh. Ooh. Ooh. YouTube to MP3 right now. What's up? So there's obviously a few ways to sample in Ableton. You can use just the arrangement view, like just do it on the track like right here, or you can use Simpler, which I use a lot. You can use Sampler too. I don't really recommend using Sampler though. I would recommend using Simpler or just the arrangement view. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just go ahead and listen to the sample, because I think I'm only going to use like the intro and then like the part where it drops with the bass line. So I'm just going to go ahead and listen and see what I want to take. Okay, so I think I'm going to take that intro. So what I first like to do is I'll hold Command or Control if you're on PC, and then just grab the ends so this I can move it freely. And then I can kind of take it to the transient that I know I'm trying to go to. So I'm trying to go to this first hit where the intro starts, which is just this. Alright, dope. So it starts on that first hit, but nothing is on beat yet. So because this is like an R&B sample, I kind of can guess what BPM it's at. I'm going to guess it's like around from 80 to 100. So I'm just going to move this to 90 just because I think it'll be closer to what the actual BPM is. And if you saw when I was moving the BPM, the track also changes because it's not warped yet. So right now it's kind of just hanging there free, just chilling. I'm going to go ahead and just move this to 90. And then let's see if that's close. I'm going to turn my metronome on too. Okay, so that's ass. All right, so we want to try and get this to loop. So the method I like to use before I warp it is to go over here to the detune area, and you could kind of use this knob. If you see when I'm like scrolling up and down, it moves the sample. So you can just push this to where it needs to be for it to be on beat. So let's try and put it right here. So I kind of just, when I sample like this, I'm just following the transients, like looking for snares or kicks, things I know that are on the 1 and 2 of the beat. So I can kind of just lock it in from there. So I think this is pretty close. Okay, so that's pretty close to being on beat. If you see, it's kind of off on some parts. Okay, so it's not perfectly on beat, but this is a good starting point. So after I do that, where I kind of get it closer to where I want it, I'll go ahead and click warp. So now this is locked onto the grid, and if I change the detune stuff, it won't move. But you want to make sure after you move it with the detune, you take it off, because it's also changing the pitch. So once I already used the detune, I'll just double tap it and it just goes away, and now it's back at its normal pitch. All right, now as I'm listening and just watching the waveforms, I can kind of see that a lot of the transients aren't really hitting where they're supposed to be. So this is the beautiful thing about Ableton, is this little view right here. This fucker is insane. You can get every little part of the sample like perfectly locked onto grid. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. So if you see right here, it kind of slips off. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in here, double tap and create this marker, and then kind of just drag it onto where it needs to be. So right there, it also goes off beat too. So I'm just going to go ahead and click over here, do the same thing. Just kind of drag it over to where I know it needs to be. And I know you guys are saying this is probably going to take like the life out of the sample, but I kind of like to just lock it on grid first, and then I'll go back and like delay and do things like that to give it some of the rhythm back. But for now, I just wanted to get it like perfectly on grid. Okay, it's dark as hell in my room. I'm going to turn my lights on. Hold up. All right, now I look like mad orange. All right. Okay, so now that we've kind of stretched it and warped it a little bit, you're going to probably hear like some little glitches and things like that. And it might sound a little weird at parts. So what you want to do is go to beats. And I like to use complex. It kind of just makes it sound natural. But there's a bunch of fun stuff you could do with all these different modes, and I'll show you guys later on in the video. But for now, let's just leave it on complex, because it kind of just gives you the most natural sound. Okay, so this is honestly the part I'm going to be using like for the beat. So let's just go ahead and get this part locked on grid too. So as you can see, it's pretty off. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing I did last time. Kind of start moving it all onto beat. Locking it in. So that hits a little early too. I'm just gonna go ahead and double tap that. move it over. Go ahead and grab this, move it over. That should be good. And I think this should loop pretty well. So I'm gonna go ahead and just highlight this and press Command L, and then it should just make a loop for me. So let's just hear it. Turn this annoying ass metronome off. Okay, so the loop is a little off. So once again, you could really go in and move it over perfectly. Okay, now it should loop fine. Let's go ahead and listen to this. There you go. Got a perfect loop already. This is a good start. I kind of have an idea of a drum break I want to add to this. I'm going to see if it works. Hold up. Oh, shit. So I know the loop restarts there because the second kick hits. So I'm going to just go ahead and do that detune trick that I did earlier. Move that on to the beginning. And this should be on beat now. Let's hear it. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going ahead and click warp. And then remember to take this off and put it on complex so it sounds natural too. So if you see at the end here, the kick is kind of intruding. Like not that much, but just enough to piss me off. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it in just a smudge. All right, fire. Gas. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get a compressor. I'm gonna sidechain the drum break to the sample. So let's just turn sidechain on. Let's grab the drum break. Alright, now I'm gonna get a little crazy. I'm gonna start rearranging this break. So I'm gonna double tap my arrangement view and go to like 1/16 bar. And I kind of want to fill it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and re-chop this drum break and show you guys how easy it is to chop things just in the arrangement view. So to chop things in the arrangement view, just press Command E. It kind of just creates chops. So I'm gonna try to move this over. Let's try this. Yes. And we could drag this over, put it like right. Oh, hell yeah. Right now, I'm just trying to fill it in more. All right, let's listen to this. Fire. So if you saw what I just did, I basically just re-chopped this whole drum break in the arrangement view, showing you guys just how easy it is to sample in Ableton. And now what I'm going to go ahead and do is just copy all this, press Command J to kind of bring it together. Oh, and I fucked that up. Make sure you don't mess it up like I just did. Command J. I'm going to add a drum bus onto this too. All right, let's go ahead and put that on. God damn. And now what I'm gonna do is kind of just listen to the sample more and try and grab some more parts and try and like layer it over. So okay, now that I have it like this, there's another way you could also warp samples on Ableton. If I hold shift right now and I have it on the warp mode, I can grab the end of this and move it over. And this is just how like it used to be in FL, the good old days. That's hard. Let's see what else is in the sample for me to take.
Who can I run to? Where will I go?
Okay, perfect. Now that we got that on a loop, I'm gonna go ahead and open a MIDI track and just drag in a simpler. So after I already have it like warped onto beat, just to make it easier for me, I drag it into here, and then you want to go to slice, and then let's do it by beat, so we have it nice and up. So now we could just fuck with chops on top of what we already made. So let's go back to what we already have and kind of just try and mess with some chops. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out this B section real quick. Okay, so I'm going to be using my new drum kit that isn't out yet, but will be out soon because these sounds are perfect for this beat. Let's see what we got. Oh. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and try and add some live percussion in this because I hear some shakers. Hey. I'm going to add some just little perks right here. For this little breakdown section, I'm going to show you guys why Simpler is fire as well for sampling. So let's go ahead and get my Simpler. So with this little breakdown section, I could just kind of like add little nuances that kind of just fill the beat out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add like a lot of reverb on this. So that's where Simpler could come in. You could kind of just chop up little certain parts and kind of use them as like effects to use throughout your track, just like how I'm using for this. I'm gonna add this little tambourine transition effect. It kind of just makes everything sound smoother. Just like tradition, I'm gonna go ahead and look for an acapella to use for this. And if you guys aren't already in my Discord, make sure you guys are in here because we have this thing called sample gems where everyone just sends in like these crazy rare ass samples, and it's honestly changed my workflow. But I'm gonna go ahead and look for these acapellas real quick. Tight. Okay, so I know I kind of just shut up and just started working on the beat a lot towards them, but I hope you guys learned something about sampling, and I hope I showed you how easy it is to sample in Ableton and how nicely you can line up your samples and shit like that. Let me know if you guys are enjoying these Ableton videos because my ass is not going back to FL. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to see next, what type of Ableton tutorials, videos in general. Thank you guys for watching. Kisses, smooches, straight up. Peace.